Okay. Check, testing, check, testing, check. Hope everybody's doing well today. The legend is in the comments. Will, what's going on? How are you, sir? Greatness, thank you for stopping by. How are you today? I gotta wait for, as always, I gotta wait for YouTube on my phone to actually pop through. That's a long one. Hold on. Oh, that's long. Why did it do that? Oh, that's why, because I had a phone call. That. Okay. So sound is good. All of that's good. Let me drop the music down just a smidge. But we are live. We are here. Hope your weekend is going well. Hope that your week has been well. Hope that many of you who watched episode 4 as of today, if you've gotten around to it up to this point over the past few days, this is definitely not a spoiler-free stream. As always, I wait a few days, roughly Saturday, if I have some time, even like a Friday, but mostly on like a Saturday, I'll give at least people some time to watch, because personally I can't wait through even the weekend to discuss these episodes. But I at least give everybody at least 72 plus hours before we really dive into discussing the latest Star Wars, anything as far as TV show. It's going to be interesting, once the strikes deal pulled through, and maybe that will happen this year, and whatever was slated to come out this year or even early next year when it's pertaining to Star Wars content, hopefully next year we will be talking about more stuff, and even maybe some films even, but yeah, episode 4 Fallen Jedi was such a great episode, start to finish. I gave it a 10 out of 10. There so much more speculation as far as the show is concerned. I'm gonna look to work on a video today for Monday. I don't think I'm gonna put it out tomorrow. I'm gonna give you all a break. I've been pushing out so much Ahsoka stuff, and even one random Andor thing, but I still have some Andor stuff, videos I need to do, because I've been sort of kind of running through the episodes again for season 1 here and there, but those videos will be looking to hopefully come out maybe a couple next week if I have time, but definitely the following week for sure. Again, definitely got to look at my schedule for the week, because there's some stuff going on here at home that I'm trying to handle, some real life emergency stuff. So but yeah, just looking to stay even, this is, Star Wars is my favorite fictional world, and anytime I get to dive into it, I'm gonna look to fully dive in. But episode 4 Fallen Jedi, I'm gonna dive right into it. As always, this stream is only gonna last maybe half hour, a little bit longer, depending on if anybody else comes into the chat, discusses their thoughts. Then of course the stream's gonna last any longer. I personally don't like talking to a screen, for over an hour on my own, personally. But let's go. Let's stop. I'm gonna get right into it. we're going to talk about this for sure today. I'm going to try to not to, you know, focus too much on specific scenes. I want to talk about a few things. All in all, like I said, the episode was truly tremendously great. I've rewatched it roughly, I want to say 2 or 3 extra times. So, you know, yeah. The one thing I want to talk about for sure is Huang, because the beginning of the episode, he was under the chair working on the chair itself here, while Sabine was working on comms, trying to get signal, trying to call out, you know, comms were down. But it was just great to see, like, you know, the robot, because a lot of times, for the most part, besides like R2 and stuff like that, Chopper, really, unless it's like on like Rebels and Clone Wars, as far as the live action stuff, the newer stuff, I kind of feel like we haven't seen like robots, you know, seeing the droids doing something different, something, you know, basically like fresh. And this was like a fresh spot here with Huang, where he was on the ground underneath the chair working on the wiring. I like this spot here when he was doing this. But, you know, with that, we do have on the outside, we have this conversation between Sabine and Ahsoka, where Sabine basically talks about making a decision. You know what I mean? What did she say? She said that she was looking to make possibly a decision that is going to be a real rough one. And of course Sabine didn't like it. I mean, many of us wouldn't like this type of decision when it's pertaining to Ezra, because Ahsoka's telling Sabine, you know, we may have to make a tough decision. And I just want to put this in front of people, for those of you who've had some complaints about Ahsoka folding her arms. This is Ahsoka-esque right here. She's done it in Clone Wars. She's done it in Rebels. There's nothing you can. There's really no. There shouldn't be a complaint. This is what Ahsoka does. But you know, they have this conversation about Ezra, right? And Sabine, she doesn't like the fact of, you know what I mean? She's basically saying, well, Ezra's going to be stranded. What is Ahsoka's response? You know, we still need to make the right call, because we don't want Thrawn to become the heir of the Empire. That's what she says, basically. Kind of paraphrasing that response to Sabine. But then we get, because I did release the video earlier today, we're talking about, once again, refocusing on Sabine. We're focusing on her mindset from the beginning of the episode, the middle, and then the end. But, you know, we have this spot here where Ahsoka had asked Sabine, can she count on her? And, you know, Sabine was like saying, of course you can. You know, and it's just like, it was already planting the seeds of doubt, basically. It was the episode was already planting the seeds of doubt for Sabine right here in this moment during this conversation. That's what the video basically is titled for today, that I like I said, I put together yesterday for today, or should I say last night before I went to bed. I went to bed kind of late, like 11 o'clock p.m. and only got like 4 hours of sleep, 5 hours of sleep before I had to get up and go to work. But the seeds of doubt were already starting right here during this conversation with Sabine. So again, when Ahsoka asks her, can I count on you? She says, of course you can. And then she goes back to the ship, and Huang comes out asking if everything's okay. And then, you know, Ahsoka's like, you know, be careful out here. I also too felt like Ahsoka definitely, you know, was on high alert, because she knew that, you know, that Shin Hati and her men were out here somewhere. More than likely, they even though where they're at seems a little secluded, you know, there's definitely a high chance that they could find them, which they do. But then we swap to Balin and crew. You know, this was more so just talking about Sheen giving the report. They're in the forest. They've pretty much been located, and he basically gives his apprentice the go ahead to go out there and make it do what it do. Now, the conversation that Morgan Elsbeth has with Balin here, she asked him the question of sort of kind of she says what Ahsoka didn't say. Is there it was either, I believe she said, fear or doubt in Balin's voice, and Balin says experience. That was his response. And Balin is such a great character. Really loved him in this episode. You know, Ray Stevenson, again, God rest his soul, R.I.P. to the homie. You know, Balin's character, and I have another video that I'm gonna actually work on tonight too, that I'm gonna be focusing on Balin and Ahsoka. But Balin, you know, he has been, you know, he has pain of his own. And there's a specific line that he says to Ahsoka, you know, towards the end of the episode. It's just like, you know, it's, I personally, guys, Balin is becoming one of my favorite. You know, he's starting to be added to the list of favorite Force users in the Star Wars universe. And then we get the title. We get the Fallen Jedi Part 4, which is just really, really cool, right? But, you know what I mean? I'm just like, man. And like I said, too, like out here, you know, he hangs out here. He's working on the ship. And I do love the fact that they give us the droid. Well, actually, no, not the droid, but they actually show, because they did show the droid earlier, but they show the enemies here walking by because they're coming by. But specifically, so we get because Disney decided to push out the teaser scene with the droids fighting and stuff like that. Sort of, we didn't get Huyang versus the mech droid. We got Ahsoka coming out, more so coming out, and it's being to come out and help. If I remember correctly, I don't think they really showed the Huyang fighting the droid. But let me pull it up. I actually got it here. Let me see if this works here. Why is it saying it? That's strange. It's saying no items. I literally got the recordings here, so that's weird. Let me see. Oh, okay, maybe that's why, because it's images only. Grr. So let me see. That's image, window. Maybe it's window. Or maybe media file. Maybe that's it. Because this will be the first time I did this. That's what I'm saying. Okay. There we go. So we see that Huyang is up here fighting the droid. Boom, bam, bang. So it's like, this was just really cool to see. And I love the part that it was covering Huyang's mouth, right? Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to pause the thing. Let me re-grab that file. Because again, when he turns around, and stuff. He's doing this, right? Boom, bam, bang. Man, I wish I could pause this, but I can't. Again, like I said, this is the first time I'm doing this, but I like that Huyang did use, and I like this part where Sabine took out the mech because she noticed that he was struggling. But I think I got it, though. It would be better if I just do it this way. If I just go like this, pull it up, drag it over, be better. I'll do it this way. And then I should be able to... Yeah, there we go. This, oh. There we go. That was weird. Okay. So yeah. It's when Huyang turns that boom, you know, he's quick on Huyang's quick on his feet, right? Bang. Like Huyang gave it a quick 2-piece, right? Bang, bang, real quick, right? I love that about this spot here. When Huyang did that, that was just so freaking dope to see. I thought I could do a little bit better, but nope, it's okay. But with that, I do like that the droid too. The mech droid boom, when he's saying help, I like this spot here where Huyang was trying to say help, and the droid mech was blocking his mouth, Huyang's mouth, and Huyang literally knew what to do next. Right here coming up, he bopped. Huyang bopped it with a strong hand, right? And he literally looked behind him real briefly because he knew that this was the best way to get their attention, and he basically cut the power. He did something specific for the ship to notify Ahsoka and Sabine, and then that's when Sabine comes down, boom. And I love that part where she catches the droid real quick to be able to help Huyang. I just, like I said, guys, I really love that about that spot. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about that real quick. But something else, again, per the video that I pushed out earlier today, where Ahsoka and Sabine were talking, and basically, Ahsoka was just like saying, you need to relax, because she was looking for something. She didn't see it right next to her stuff, and then she said, when she asked her, she okay? She said yes, and she said, basically on the lines of once she was basically re-asking her, can I count on you? She was re-asking her, you sure that I can count on you? You sure that I don't have to worry about you? And that you're good, you know what I mean? And basically Sabine was just like, no. But then Ahsoka has the conversation of, you know what I mean, like, these are the times where we're going to have to make some critical decisions that are going to be crucial in making sure that we win against, Morgan Elsbeth, win against Baylan, win against Sheen, win, to try to stave Thrawn from coming back. So again, once again, guys, since the beginning of the episode up to this point, they are planting those seeds of doubt for Sabine. That it's I feel like it's starting to really creep in way before she has the conversation with Baylan at the end of the episode. It's really driving it home. just like they're driving it home with the Force, Sabine does use the Force here in the episode. It's very like small. It's really small. Some people were saying that she didn't, but some people were saying like Shinati like naturally reacted, but she did use the Force. There's a slight sound. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I just don't have the I actually don't have the recording for that. But you can go back and look yourself. But once they get also too, I wanted to mention this too about Ahsoka when they're fighting the enemies. She uses the Force, right? She had dragged the enemy from one spot to the guy to our left, to Ahsoka's left. I think I have it here. I thought I had it. I don't have it. Because we do get a chance to see Sabine using her Mandalorian stuff to be able to counter some of these attacks and stuff like that. That was cool. Oh wait, I think this is it. No, it's not. Yeah, so this is Sabine just using this thing here on the enemy. But I do like that was like a tag team. Sabine pulled him close to her to the ground, and then Ahsoka drops, takes him out with her lightsaber. That was cool. I do love that we got a chance to see Hera and Jason together. Your boy in the back talking about they had this meeting, and she's like, well, good thing I'm a general. I can be able to basically do what I want. And she dips out, hops the ghost ship, her and the homie. Why am I losing my train of thought on the homie? Because they just gave him a poster as of, I want to say 48 hours ago. Carson, I think it is. But they hopped the ship, and they even say the Phoenix leader from coining it from referencing rebels and stuff. That was cool to see. And from what I heard, this is the actor that is basically the stunt double, the stand-in for Mando, because the homie, whenever he's basically not in the suit, this is the main guy. I forgot his name, but this is the main guy who rocks the Mando suit in The Mandalorian, which is cool for him to have another spot in the Star Wars journey, universe, and all. That's really just dope. But I do love to see that they rolled out together. This was just cool before they hit hyperspace. This was just dope. But ultimately, we're getting, we're seeing that the preparation is to, because they have the map and everything, the preparation to get this thing to hit hyperspace. And they showed it roughly like 5 times. I'll at least show that part. Anytime they were putting it together, it kept, anytime, like for the most part, I would say it was like 5 times, and 4 out of the 5 they would show it basically taking its time to change from clear to yellow. So that was cool to see that here in the episode. I thought personally. And I do love when they were talking about the preparation and stuff, and Balin was here watching. He was just saying witchcraft. He was like, witchcraft. That was his response. it's like, to him, I feel like he's looking at it, viewing it as like a negative, like can't believe I'm actually like supporting this to gain what I want. This power that he's looking for, looking to get through Thrawn. Um, of course, we got Sabine and Ahsoka running, and we get them, meeting up. And I like how the way that they were standing were basically facing the opponent that they were going to be fighting. That was the signal per this scene here when they ran into Sheen and Marok. I saw a meme or something like that saying Sheen had horrible posture here per this spot here when she jumped down. I thought that was funny. But then, of course, Sheen's like going somewhere, and this, that, and the third. They're looking at each other, and then boom, Sabine's the one that started the fight. And we have Sheen blocking the blaster fire, and then we got Marok. RIP to Marok character, who was basically created as Night Sister magic. Maybe possibly more than one person was in this Inquisitor body, because it sounded like when he did get dropped by Ahsoka roughly 5+ minutes later, 4 minutes or whatever, that there were multiple screams, not just one loud scream. There was multiple screams when she turned him into dust. But even with that, the fight, I found it interesting per her fight with Marok, and then her fight with Baylan, which I'm probably going to do a video for as well, that Ahsoka chose to use only one lightsaber. When they're prepping and getting ready to start fighting, she pulled out one lightsaber, not not the duel like she did earlier in the episode. And I viewed that as kind of like the Inquisitor that she fought in Tales of the Jedi, where like she didn't have a lightsaber at all. Of course, there was a reason why, but they did. She took him out easily. No hand at your boy. Dropped him simple. But again, per this fight with Marok, it just showed you like Ahsoka knew that she was going to be able to beat him. And then, but then we get, I tried to get the best spots with Sheen and Sabine here, because at the time it really was cool to see Sabine just doing it the Mando way, chasing after Sabine and stuff like that, until she needed to pull the lightsaber out to fight. I kind of felt like, and that's the thing, I kind of felt like Sabine did a little bit better when it's pertaining to fighting. Sheen here, I really felt like she did better. I don't think that's more like I really don't feel like that's a critique for her character. It's just that that's what it was. You know what I mean? But then we get the infamous stance for Ahsoka just before we got Marok prepping to do the what you call it with his lightsaber. And that was the question. The question was because many people were just like, "Oh, this is Ezra. Oh, this is Kanan. Oh," like people literally were saying this is Kanan. Others were saying this is Galen Merrick. Blah blah blah. This not the third. You know, but ultimately, Ahsoka took him out. One swift stroke, and it definitely did remind you of Maul versus Obi-Wan. But she took him out easily. But like I said, this one, this fight with Ahsoka using just her one lightsaber just proves to you like, yeah, this isn't gonna be too much of a issue. Again, she had to use both her lightsabers against the droid and Marok in episode 3. In episode 2. 2 weeks ago. So that's understandable. And Sheen's look of shock, like, oh my gosh, he got beat, blah blah blah. Could Marok come back? Probably more than likely not. Some fans are even saying like they're upset because they gave Marok like various, not just one, but I believe it was, I think I seen more than one action figure. But once she took him out, it was a wrap. She took him out swiftly, and it was just a thing of smoke. But I personally don't mind this because I'm just like, I wanted Marok to be I've already gone on record saying I want Marok to be, I got a video talking about that. I want Marok to be just a brand new character and somebody fresh, somebody new, not somebody we already know. Because I feel like new characters still bring something different. Like Balin's a new character, you know what I mean? Like he's bringing some really dope stuff to the episode, and that's when we get what we're getting ready to get, and that is Balin versus Ahsoka. What we have been waiting for since the trailers. Wondering how this fight would go. Some great dialogue from Balin. He brings up Anakin, brings up the Order. Says everyone in the Order knew Anakin Skywalker, but some didn't know what he would become, and that must leave a scar. Dude, like, what? Seriously? You said that? He knew he was there because he knew. I put a video together about that per the trailer. When he said this line, he knew because he was there during Order 66. He saw Anakin taking out Jedi, taking many, more like didn't seem taking out younglings, but he saw Anakin taking them out. And of course, Ahsoka says, I'm not here to talk about my past. And they had the conversation about, Balin talking about, he is looking to gain this power and allow Thrawn to be the one to, I put a video together about that, Thrawn being the one to bring the war. He's just going to be there to assist. But there has to be something else behind that, because he does have a specific anger that he feels justified in using for his mission, his journey as a dark Jedi, right? And he says the line, one must destroy in order to create. And like I said in my video, saying like, he seems like he's handing Thrawn the keys to destroy, so that in a sense, maybe that's what I'm thinking, that maybe that's what he meant by Thrawn destroys the galaxy, and what I'll do is I will create something better. Maybe that's what he meant, but at the same time, I'm not too sure when it's pertaining to that, from that perspective, from that line. But, you know, once we get them bringing out their lightsabers, I love that they took, you know, they were sizing each other up, basically. You know, they started here, and then they ended up shifting. Well, Ahsoka shifted her stance, but then eventually they both shifted both their stances. And it kind of makes me wonder, is, because I kind of feel like he is, I kind of feel like some other fans have been talking about it too, that Baylan is using Dim Sum here. Where are you? There we go. Yeah. They switched their stances. Like I said, they're sizing each other up. And actually, I have the beginning of the fight. At least I believe I have the beginning of the fight. I believe so. Yeah. They do this right. Like they have that quick just boom bang. Because again, at the same time, like I said, they're sizing each other up here before they start, and then they see how they, you know what I mean, it was a quick size up even more once their lightsabers, I mean, once they began the fight. Ahsoka even smirks here a little bit. Like, But at the same time, like I said, when it's pertaining to Marok, it was a different, you know what I mean? Yeah, so they swung their weapons here first, and then they decided to go into their stances, really sizing themselves up. So this is where it was at. They sized each other up first to start the battle, and then they went into their stances. And like I said, I feel like Baylan's using Dim Sum form of fighting. And then I like how during the fight, this was dope. It was a test of strength a little bit. Baylan was pouring a lot of power into this part here. I love that part with Baylan when he did that. Love that part, right? Like I love how Baylan's defense is so great. Look at this, boom, bang. He does this, boom, and then he does the swing coming up. You know, the flip, sort of kind of a flip into the attack. And then I love this part. They connect with their lightsaber, and there's another streak of that happening here. I love that part. They did it on the ground, then they do it here on the sort of kind of thing here. I love that part. So that's why I'm saying, like, this fight was just really just dope. I love that how Baylan just like he shoved power into this moment to push the lightsaber down to the ground and do that streak there on the ground before they started to fight more. And he was in defense a little bit, but he used more swinging, more power. And I love that, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, Ahsoka was, again, she used one lightsaber for both against Marok and Baylan, but she knew, I personally felt like she knew that she could beat Marok, but this one, she, you know, in this fight with Baylan, she knew that she couldn't defeat him with just two lightsabers. And it's crazy because she fights Maul with both, you know what I mean, like in the Clone Wars in season 7. So, and like I said, I love the spin right into that power attack, which could have knocked her down, but she was able to stand her ground, hold herself. Like I said, I just love this part where he does that. So it was just really just dope, guys. I just love this fight a lot. Let's see. And also, too, I didn't get it. I didn't grab it. I should have. It was when they were fighting, and Ahsoka tried to grab the map, and Baylan. I love this part here in the fight when he blocks. He swings to stop Ahsoka from grabbing the map, right? And he does this this move here when he swings his weapon down and stands in front of the map. He brings his lightsaber behind him because he just felt in the force and knew that Ahsoka was going to come with another swing after he forced her to move out the way. He moved his lightsaber behind him to be able to catch this and block this part here, block Ahsoka from hitting the map. To at least knock it off the thing, because technically, I was probably am gonna put a video together for it, but technically, because somebody had asked this when it's pertaining to the map, when it's pertaining, somebody had said like, they felt like Sabine, one, she shouldn't have did it. She shouldn't have had her gun pointed at the map up front, but so close to her weapon to blast it, to destroy it, to at least attempt to. I feel like she wouldn't have been able to destroy the map anyway, just being honest. But I love this spot when they get here and Baylan's like, you are like your masters. He basically knows about Ahsoka being, trained by Obi-Wan, trained by Anakin, Yoda. He's lumping them all in. He's like, all you've done, all this is doing is you're walking a path of destruction. Baylan's mindset, his belief has shifted from the Jedi to his own dark Jedi thinking through the dark side of the Force. That he personally believes that his journey, his mission is to bring his own sense of peace, and that the Jedi were were the ones that brought destruction. What does that destruction entail when it's pertaining to him personally? Some folks are thinking that, Sheen is Baylan's daughter. That could be the case. That could be true. But we won't. Maybe the show will tell us that. But in the midst of all of that, we do get Ahsoka kicking Baylan a few times to knock him down. But again, like I said, the question is, what is this destruction that Baylan is talking about? That's the question. That like I said, another video that I'm going to be putting together. Did Baylan have a significant other? Did he have friends in the temple that he cared about? Like I said, Ahsoka knocked him down, and then she goes after the map. That's something that I am pondering. Will we get a flashback of Baylan being at the temple during Order 66? That's the question at hand during this show. Or will it be in a book or something like that? That's the question at hand, because we don't know if Balin survives the Ahsoka series. We don't know what's going to happen with his character until the rest of these next 4 weeks go by. But one of the questions that people have is when Ahsoka grabs the map, because it's still freshly hot, right? It is still infused by Night Sister magic, and it burns her hand, burns through her glove, her hand here. And one of the questions is the map on her hand? Is Harpinger's back to the Indiana Jones movies with one of the characters? He grabbed one of the things and it burned on his hands, and the map was on his hands. Let's see here. I don't think I can. Well, maybe I can, but you can't really tell if the map has been burned on her hand. Maybe it is. Maybe because she's in the world between worlds, it's still there on her hand glove there. Maybe. But that's the question. If it is, that's actually good, right? But if it isn't, how does she remove herself from the world between worlds? But at the same time, some are thinking that Ahsoka uses some rage, because when she's fighting your boy and Sheen pops up, I thought that was it. That's not it. Hold on, I had it too. Yeah, so when Sheen pops up and she looks at Sheen and she says Sabine, you know what I mean? She was like, oh my gosh, like my apprentice, my friend. Ahsoka's response was, there was some rage in this force, when she used the force here coming up. You can see it in her face. You can see the rage in her eyes, right? You can see it. And she tosses Sheen into the pillar here. Like hard, guys. All right. Like truly hard, knocks her out. But I love Balin's response. Like I said, I wish I had recorded this part, but it was late last night, and I pretty much got home. I went to bed and got home, and went to work and got home not that long ago. Cause I had to go do some stuff right after work. So yeah, it was this. Balin turns with such rage and anger, and then he goes right into his own, like, vengeful attacks on Ahsoka. And he knocks her down. And then there's the block. Where are you? I thought I had it. Like I said, there's the block. She's using the force to apply pressure to stay away, to keep it away from her. And, Balin's basically saying to her, like, this was supposed to go this way. You know what I mean? But he does say to her, like, but you only know one, one way, one route, basically. Again, once again, Balin's saying, and he's telling Ahsoka that his way is better than the Jedi way, basically. And then when Sabine shows up, and Ahsoka's response is like, "Oh my gosh, like you're alive," right? She's glad to see her. I thought I had it. I didn't grab it. I didn't grab her. The look on Ahsoka's face. Here it is. There it is. The relief in her face. Balin saw it. He literally turned right back to Ahsoka, looked her right in the face. Yeah, this was it. He looked her right in the face. It's the same image I just used, and he was just like, "That's it. There's my opening." Boom. Knocks her off the side of the cliff. She falls into the water, and then we get the conversation. You know what I mean? Shock and awe and everything. We get the conversation. Balin uses the Force here to be able to detect what is going on in Sabine's mind. He closes his eyes. He uses the Force. He searches the Force. This is what I'm saying. This is why I'm saying Balin's becoming one of my favorite Force users in the Star Wars universe, in the galaxy, because he's that strong. Even though he's a new character, we never heard of him before, he is well in tune with the Force. That's why I've been putting these videos together with him, questioning and wondering, how is he able to figure this out, and this, that out, and this, that, and the third. He is that well in tune with the Force. But like I said earlier, roughly 15 minutes ago, somebody did say it was they were saying in one of my videos, they commented saying it was dumb that Sabine would point the gun close range like that. Yes, if she shot, she would more than likely hurt her hand, but again, she wouldn't be able to really put any damage to the map. That's how strong this map is, and well endowed in the Night Sister magic. But like I said, Balin gets in her head. He brings up Ezra. He brings up going after her friend. Some people were like, "Oh, you know what I mean? Like, oh, crap, my music disappeared. I don't know what happened to my music. I just recognized that. Sorry about that. I'll just put this on. I don't know why my music disappeared. Well, maybe that's because I was playing the video. I didn't even realize that. That's probably why, because I'm using one media versus another media and stuff like that. Actually, let me pull that back. Pull that back. Oh, sorry, there we go. I didn't even realize my music was off. This is what I'm talking about with, Sabine and this doubt. It was applied way back at the beginning, in the middle. Two different conversations that were technically the same questions. Can I count on you? Are you okay? Will you be able to fulfill what needs to be done? Sabine kept saying, yes, you can count on me. You don't have to worry about me. I'm good. But as soon as Balin brings up Ezra, because he searched the Force, and that's the thing. Balin says to Sabine, we will be able to get your friend back. We will. And she shook her head up and down before this even occurred. When he put his hand out for her to put the map in her hand, in his hand, she basically flinched back. She removed the map first, but she shook her head up and down before handing it to him. This is the crazy part about this whole scene. She agreed to do it just before actually doing it. She agreed seconds before. And he, like I said, he promises that nothing, no harm will come to her, this, that, and the third. But then, of course, we get the force choke from Shin Hati. She starts choking and Shin got her. But there's some questions about Shin moving forward that we're not going to focus on in the video, but I'll just say, like, she might be questioning her master, questioning Baylan's motives, all of that, as we're halfway through. We're 4 episodes in. Because it took her like 30 seconds to really release Sabine from the force choke. So, but he did say, he said, I'm keeping my promise that her master wouldn't, you know what I mean? Because he did tell Sabine that, your master didn't trust you, you lost your family. She did, that's what I'm saying. When he starts the force, he said it. You lost your family, you lost your, one of your very, very close friends that you really care about. And then, like I said, we get Hera and crew, but this is what I'm talking about with the map. This is why Sabine wouldn't have done anything, because Baylan had to use his lightsaber to really, really hammer home that this needed to be destroyed so that nobody could follow us. So there was really no real thing that Sabine would have done. Maybe a couple scratches with the blaster. It really did take, his lightsaber to really take out the map. But again, the question is, does Ahsoka have the map attached to her hand? Is it here? Because it was burned through the glove in her hand. That's the question. But ultimately, the end of it all, we get, you know what I mean? Yeah, Hera and crew show up, but there was nothing that they could do because Morgan knew. She knew that they were good, that they were headed their way. And even Hera says it, like, that's the hyperspace. They get ready to hop into hyperspace and blah blah blah. And you know what I mean? They do indeed make it happen. It happens. We see them like fly through Hera and crew. We get like 2 people dying. We get no, it wasn't you. It was you. I think you're the one that started it started off with you, and then the brother here, he got caught in the aftermath. And you know what I mean, RIP to these 2 cats. So they, you know what I mean, they came with 5 ships in total and left with 3, so. And we also get Jason saying he has a bad feeling. He's already showing signs of the force already at such a young age, which is great. And then we get this part after the fact that Huyang is trying to call out to basically Sabine and Ahsoka. I love the transition from the water to this moment. This was just really cool. And I called it many video streams ago. I called it. I said I'm assuming that the area that they're at here is where it's linked to the world between worlds. Ahsoka wakes up lying down. She sits up. It was just so cool to see the world between worlds in live action form. I just love it. I really love it a lot. And I did not hear it because my fans were blowing. I didn't hear Anakin say hello, Snips, because also too my subtitles were off because I was in the middle of recording the episode while I was watching it, just so that I can have it in preparation to do my videos, because it makes it so much quicker. So if I'm just sitting watching the episode first and then go re-record the episode to watch it again, which is still not a bad thing to do, but because it comes on at night every Tuesday, and for the most part I work every Tuesday, and then I work every other Wednesday. So this coming Wednesday I'm off, so it will benefit me a little bit. But like she said master, and then when she turns around, it's the homies here. He is here. So great to see Hayden Christensen back. So great. This was just really just dope. I loved it a lot. The scar is there, guys. It's there. It's like real light, but it's there. Ahsoka turns around, huge smile on her face. She says Anakin. But then we get the music, the Darth Vader music. Like they actually played it at this moment here. I'm switching to another spot with Ahsoka, but they play it here slightly, and then once it cuts to black, it goes like to the deeper toned Darth Vader music. But the question becomes, now I did come across some possible spoiler information for episode 5, but I'm taking it with a grain of salt personally. But for me, I'm technically just waiting for the episode to get here. But of course the question is, and I didn't grab it, I forgot to grab it. I have a couple of images in my phone when it's pertaining to this spot here. Many people are saying, because this is Anakin from basically the Clone Wars in his garb. So it doesn't look like his hand, his right hand is healed, or both hands even. And of course the lightsaber. That's the ultimate question, is what lightsaber is he donning here, right? So yeah, is this, what I mean, is this Annie? Is this Vader? And of course, some folks are asking, is this the son? From the the Mortis gods and stuff like that. Is this the son looking to trick Ahsoka here at the War Between Worlds? But if the son survived, I mean, again, the Force functions and operates how it and flows however it's going to flow. We know that when it's pertaining to this type of stuff, what I'm saying, the Force is going to do what the Force does. And if the Force says that a specific key character passed away but they can come back, if the son is alive and this Anakin in this form, it has to make sense still. But at the same time, a lot of stuff in Star Wars doesn't make sense. And there's just stuff that we just have to, we will either accept this face value or we won't. And in our mind, we view stuff, from our own perspective. So that is ultimately the question. Like I said, I came across some spoiler stuff. I'm not going to talk about it here. I'm not even going to do a video on. I'm just going to keep it to myself and then see what the episode brings, and then I'll probably talk about it next weekend in the stream discussion, maybe a video later, to see if whether or not this spoiler information that I gained per episode 5 is true or false, or sort of kind of true. Like some stuff was true, some stuff was false, type of thing. So yeah, and I even came across some other spoiler stuff as far as the rest of the show. So I'm just taking it with a grain of salt. It sounds a little bit intriguing, sounds a little bit interesting, and like I said, other stuff just sounds like that doesn't sound like too much fun. But I will say, because I'm gonna do a video on it. I'm gonna come back on camera. But I will say the one thing that I don't like I'm gonna put it in a video. One thing I don't like about the show, because they just did it with episode 4. They showed Kanan in the picture, but there's been no name drop mention of Kanan for these past 4 episodes. Kind of don't like that. And Zeb, no mention of Zeb. Now again, granted, yes, we know that Zeb is more than likely out in the galaxy somewhere on another mission, which is cool, great. But at least mention the homie. At least say his name just once, maybe twice. Same thing with Kanan. Say, keep them, for at least for me. I can only speak for me. I can't speak for anybody. If you feel like it's okay that Zeb hasn't been mentioned or Kanan hasn't been really mentioned in the show, like name dropping them, it's fine. That's okay. I still support you and your mindset and how you're viewing what I'm talking about. But me personally, I'm like, this is their family. You know what I mean? This is they you know what I mean? They Ezra is their family too, right? So I'm saying, like, keep their them and their in your memory, keep all of that, but continue to talk about them. You know what I mean? It's not like they're even with Kanan, he's no longer here, but you still talk about him. So of course I know Hera and Jason are still thinking about him, but at least talk about him. You know what I mean? We haven't gotten any of that in at least the past 2 episodes. So so that's where I'm coming from. Like, I just don't like the fact that they haven't mentioned them like really name dropping them at least. Maybe more than likely we'll probably get that in the next couple episodes or something like that. But I'm hopeful that Zeb will, because I feel like for sure Ezra's gonna be coming up at the very end. Thrawn's gonna come up in the last probably 2 episodes, probably episodes 7 and 8, and Zeb is more than likely gonna show up at the end. And then everything else is just gonna walk us into the Dave Filoni's Heir to the Empire movie, if that's what it's gonna be called, Heir to the Empire. So that's, everything else has been great for me. Those couple things are my only nitpicks about the show, to be honest. But I love the episode, loved it a lot. Can't wait for episode 5 Tuesday. I'm hearing it's 40 plus minutes long. That's what I heard. So that's a good thing. Probably maybe 45, 46, something like that. It could be a little less. And then again, it could be a little bit more, closer to 50. But then that's without credits. So I'm hearing that it's 40 plus minutes without credits. So this is going to be some more than likely tear jerking. Supposed to be like probably the best episode out of all 8. I think it's even the longest one. Episode 1 I think was the longest. So yeah, I'm looking forward to episode 5 this week. I can't wait, really can't wait. But I'm out of here. These are my thoughts on episode 4 for today. Like I said, Will, thanks for stopping through for that brief moment. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. But I'm out, getting ready to enjoy the rest of my evening. Like I said, I'm gonna look to work on this video. Hopefully I can get this done today. If not, definitely tomorrow, for Monday, pertaining to Balin and Ahsoka. But I'm out. Enjoy the rest of your evening and night. Stay safe, stay humble, and remember, the Force will be with you always.